To those who are new and have returned, I bid you welcome. Tonight we're not doing fiction, but instead the truth. Many have heard of shadow people, but these stories are about shadow animals instead. Were they ghosts, spirits? I do not know. Only that I saw all of them and remember the experience quite vividly. Shadow of the Wolf. The holiday of Yule was approaching several years ago. I was part of a druid grove, and we were honoring the goddess Skadi. She is a Jotun and the goddess of winter. Jotun are ice giants that often battle against gods. Her animal is the wolf, and they are often found in her company. Yule was that weekend, which was only a day or two away. One morning, I woke up early, around 4 or 5 in the morning. It was quiet, and my dogs were sleeping next to my wife. I was thirsty, so I decided to go to the kitchen. Our uncle and aunt stayed with us, too. Their dogs asleep in their room. As I walked down the hallway to the kitchen, I stopped. I stopped because a great canine, wolf-like, crossed my path. It was in the living room and completely black. We kept the light on in case someone woke in the middle of the night. This creature was different from my dogs, as one is a Jack Russell and the other an American Bulldog and part boxer. Her aunt does have a German Shepherd, but he is brown with black spots. I believed it to be him, even calling his name. But the shadow was gone. There is nowhere for a wolf or dog to hide in my living room. The next day I asked the aunt if her shepherd was out around 4 or 5 in the morning. She said no. He was asleep in the floor next to the bed. They got up around 7 to go outside. This dog does not leave the aunt. It's her dog. And when you see her, you see him. So I believed her when she said the dog was asleep in the floor next to her. Later at our ritual, I found out that Scotty's name, her animal, are in fact wolves. Did she visit me that night or morning? I can only guess and believe what I believe. Ghost of a Stallion. It was late one night as me and two of my friends were riding in the back of a pickup truck. We were kids, and I loved the cool night air forced upon me in the bed of a pickup. We were leaving a friend of my father's, about to take my buddies home. In a field behind us were several horses. A little bit about me. I have always had a gift and felt very close to animals, as well as a number of strange things that also happened to me. We neared the road, and I was paying attention to my friend. I had a crush on her, and she had my full attention as we listened to her brother talk. I looked away toward the street. It was not a busy street, and lights lit the area up well. That is when I saw it, standing there. A horse, black as night, watching the field. It stood not 5 feet from the truck, as I saw it quite clearly. Even the eyes were black. No white to be found there. I looked back to the field and saw only horses. When I looked back toward the horse by the road, it was gone. Of course, my friends did not see it. Later, I was surprised to hear that the black stallion had died in that field earlier in the day. The owner told me this a few days ago when I asked him about the black horse. The serpent's shadow. Even though I am a Georgia boy, place of my birth, I spent most of my young life in Tennessee. I lived on a farm of 83 acres with my father, mother, and brother. A few things happened there that was strange now that I am older. I saw a white owl, a white squirrel, and heard things that would make a psychiatrist want to have a long talk with me. So, I should not have been surprised when I saw a black snake, darker than any I've ever seen before. I was alone on the front porch, letting my mind wander as kids often do. When I saw this snake, almost 5 feet long, I guess, it was dark and racing toward the porch I was on. The old farmhouse was a ranch-style house, 1 floor and a crawl space toward the back. But there were no holes in the blocks where I was. So it was strange when the serpent raced toward me and went under the house. At first I was scared to look, But then I realized the blocks were solid. Where did it go? I jumped down into the yard and looked all along the front porch. There was no snake. No holes in the foundation. In fact, it was a solid wall around the front of the house. Being a kid and scared, I went inside and told the only person I found, my mother. Of course, she did not believe me. But I know what I saw. And last time I checked, snakes do not just disappear. Or do they? Thor. This is an old story. I decided to include it with this video. I had a shepherd mix named Thor. He was tan in color and around 80 to 90 pounds. I raised him from 8 weeks old, and he died at almost 4 years. He was my best friend, and I spent many nights outside with him, snuggled beside me. He was actually my only friend. Dogs were not allowed in the house, and was mostly left on a collar or a dog kennel outside. After work, I would spend time with my boy. Unfortunately, my family had a rat problem. They used rat poison to kill the rodents. My boy Thor ate one. As he got close to him outside. Dogs have good immune systems, but poison is poison. When I realized what happened, it was too late. The poison was taking its toll. It was killing Thor, and I can only watch it happen. My best friend did not have the strength to even stand or lift his head. That night, I was going to the bathroom, which was right beside my room. I opened the door, and in the floor at my feet was a black dog. He was shaped like Thor, and he turned his head to look at me. I was scared, so I closed the door, but opened it up fairly quickly. The shadow was gone, and the next day, Thor was too. My dog had told me goodbye, and that he loved me one last time. These stories are true, although they may seem like fiction to some. From a scared kid to an adult who lost his best friend, I saw all of them. Sometimes the thing that makes us unique, gifted, or just strange continue to haunt us throughout our lives. I do hope you enjoyed these tales. If you did, come back for more.